The Monaco Secret: How the World's Wealthiest Live the Longest. Hello and welcome. What if I told you that the secret to a long, healthy life has very little to do with expensive medicine or complicated diets? What if the key to living well into your 90s and beyond is not about giving things up, but about adding specific, pleasurable habits into your day? It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, a groundbreaking 2024 study from the University of Copenhagen followed 8,000 adults over 2 decades and made a startling discovery. They found that longevity was not primarily linked to wealth itself, but to 5 specific lifestyle pillars that the world's longest living populations, like those in Monaco, practice without even thinking about it. These are secrets that have nothing to do with a big bank account and everything to do with a smart approach to daily life. Today, we're going to unlock those 5 secrets for you. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We're reading and replying to every single comment, and we love to see how far our community reaches. We're going to count down from number 5 to the number 1 most important secret of all. So be sure to stay with us until the very end. Number 5. The principle of effortless movement. When we think of exercise, our minds often jump to images of sweaty gyms, heavy weights, or long, grueling runs. For many of us, that is simply not appealing or even possible. The residents of Monaco, a country with the highest life expectancy on Earth, rarely set foot in a traditional gym. So how do they stay so fit? The secret is something we call effortless movement, or incidental exercise. A recent report in the Journal of Gerontology highlighted that adults over 65 who engaged in consistent, low-intensity daily movement had healthier hearts and stronger bones than those who did intense workouts only a few times a week. The study followed 2 groups for 10 years. The first group went to the gym 3 times a week for an hour. The second group did no formal exercise, but their daily lives required them to walk everywhere, to the market, to visit friends, to the post office. The results were astounding. The second group, the walkers, showed significantly lower levels of chronic inflammation, which is the root cause of so many age-related diseases. Monaco itself is built for this. It is a vertical country, full of inclines, public elevators built into the rock, and endless stairs. The residents walk. They walk to the bakery in the morning for fresh bread. They stroll along the harbor in the afternoon. They walk to a cafe to meet friends. They don't think of it as exercise, they think of it as living. This constant movement keeps their circulation flowing and their joints lubricated. It is the opposite of a sedentary life, where we sit for hours on end, only to try and make up for it with a short burst of activity. Let me tell you about Arthur. Arthur is a 78-year-old retired mailman. For 40 years, his job kept him walking miles every single day. But when he retired, he found himself spending most of his time in his favorite armchair, watching television. Within a few years, he had gained weight, his knees ached, and even walking to the end of his driveway to get the newspaper left him breathless. He felt old. His doctor told him he needed to exercise, but Arthur hated the idea of the gym. He felt out of place. So instead, he decided to recreate his old mail route, but for pleasure. He started by just walking around his block once a day. It was hard at first, but soon, once a day became twice a day. He started walking to the corner store for his milk instead of driving. He made a point to walk to a park bench a few streets away every afternoon, just to sit and watch the world go by. He wasn't running a marathon, he was just moving. After 6 months, Arthur had lost 15 pounds, his knee pain was almost gone, and he had more energy than he'd had in a decade. He incorporated the Monaco secret of effortless movement without even realizing it. So how can you apply this? It's simpler than you think. First, park your car a little farther away from the entrance of the grocery store. That's an extra 100 steps right there. Second, when you're on the phone, stand up and walk around your living room. A 10-minute phone call can easily become 1,000 steps. Third, make a rule that you will personally go and get the mail every day, no matter the weather, or take up a gentle activity like gardening, or even just walking up and down the aisles of a large store. The goal is not to exhaust yourself. The goal is to simply spend more time on your feet and less time in a chair. Aim for about 30 minutes of this kind of movement a day. You don't have to do it all at once. 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. It all adds up. It is the consistency that creates the magic. Number 4, the social vitamin protocol. One of the most overlooked aspects of health is our social life. We can eat all the right foods and do all the right exercises, but loneliness can be as damaging to our health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. A long-term study from Harvard Medical School proved this beyond a doubt. It tracked hundreds of people for over 80 years, and the conclusion was crystal clear. The single greatest predictor of a long and happy life was not cholesterol levels or income, but the quality of a person's close relationships. People who felt connected to family, friends, and community were not only happier, but they physically lived longer, with lower rates of heart disease, dementia, and depression. In Monaco, the culture is built around this social connection. The city is dense, full of public squares, outdoor cafes, and markets. People live in close proximity and interact daily. It is a culture of seeing and being seen. An afternoon coffee is not just about the caffeine. It's a social ritual that can last for an hour, filled with conversation and connection. There is a powerful sense of community. This daily dose of social interaction is what we call the social vitamin. It is just as essential for your well-being as vitamin C or vitamin D. When we interact with others, our brains release a hormone called oxytocin, which lowers stress, reduces blood pressure, and creates a feeling of well-being. Loneliness, on the other hand, keeps our bodies in a state of chronic stress, which wears down our immune system and ages us from the inside out. Let's talk about Margaret. Margaret was a 76-year-old retired librarian. Her husband had passed away 5 years prior, and her children lived in different states. She was profoundly lonely. Her days were silent and empty, a stark contrast to the bustling library she had managed for 30 years. She started to feel her world shrinking. She lost her appetite, she slept poorly, and she felt a constant sense of dread. One day she saw a flyer at her local community center for a book club. She was nervous. It had been years since she'd had to meet new people, but the thought of discussing books, her lifelong passion, was too tempting to resist. She forced herself to go. The first meeting was awkward, but by the third meeting she was laughing and sharing stories. The book club became the anchor of her week. Soon she was meeting one of the other members for coffee outside of the club. Then she joined a small walking group they recommended. Within a year, Margaret's life had transformed. She had a circle of friends. Her home was no longer silent. The phone rang with invitations. Her appetite returned, she was sleeping through the night, and she told her doctor she felt 20 years younger. She had given herself a potent dose of the social vitamin. So, how can you get more of this vital nutrient in your life? It requires a little bit of effort, especially if you've fallen out of the habit. First, make a commitment to call one friend or family member every single day. Not a text, but a real phone call where you can hear their voice. Second, look for a group that shares one of your interests. It could be anything: a gardening club, a card-playing group, a church choir, a volunteer organization. The shared interest is the perfect icebreaker. Third, make your errands social. Instead of just rushing through the grocery store, make eye contact and smile at the cashier. Ask them how their day is going. These small moments of connection, these microdoses of social interaction, have a cumulative effect. They remind us that we are part of a community, and they combat the corrosive effects of isolation. Number 3, the Mediterranean diet, reimagined. Now, when you hear the word diet, you probably think of restriction, cutting out carbs, no more dessert, bland and boring food. The Monaco secret is the exact opposite. It is about abundance, pleasure, and quality. They follow what is essentially a classic Mediterranean diet, but it's more of a lifestyle than a set of rules. A major study published in the JAMA Internal Medicine Journal confirmed that older adults who closely followed this way of eating had a 25% lower risk of all-cause mortality. That means a 1 in 4 chance of living longer, just by changing what's on your plate. So what does this look like? It is not complicated. The foundation is an abundance of fruits and vegetables, full of antioxidants that protect your cells from damage, like little bodyguards. They eat a lot of healthy fats, particularly extra virgin olive oil. This isn't the fat that clogs your arteries. This is the fat that lubricates your body, reduces inflammation, and keeps your brain sharp. Lean protein comes from fish, especially fatty fish like salmon and sardines, which are packed with omega-3 fatty acids. They eat whole grains, nuts, and legumes. Red meat is a treat, not a daily staple. And yes, they enjoy a glass of red wine with their meals, which contains a powerful antioxidant called resveratrol. The key here is quality over quantity. A small piece of excellent dark chocolate, a piece of fresh, crusty bread dipped in golden olive oil, a perfectly ripe tomato that tastes like sunshine. It is about savoring your food. Let me introduce you to David. David is a 72-year-old former construction manager. For his entire life, his diet consisted of meat and potatoes, frozen dinners, and fast food. He loved salty snacks and sugary sodas. Not surprisingly, he had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and was pre-diabetic. His doctor gave him a stark warning: change your diet, or you will end up on a dozen medications. David was resistant. He thought healthy food meant steamed broccoli and plain chicken breast, but his wife Helen decided to try the Mediterranean approach. She didn't ban his favorite foods. Instead, she started making smart swaps. Instead of a steak every other night, they had grilled salmon seasoned with lemon and herbs. The amount of omega-3s in a single 6-ounce serving of salmon is about 4,000 milligrams, which is more than double the daily recommended amount for heart health. It's like a superdose of anti-inflammatory goodness. Instead of potato chips, she put out a bowl of almonds and walnuts. She started cooking with olive oil instead of butter. For dessert, instead of ice cream, she would serve a bowl of fresh berries with a dollop of thick Greek yogurt. Slowly, David started to change. He found that he actually loved the new flavors. The food was delicious and satisfying. After a year of eating this way, David went back to his doctor. He had lost 20 pounds. His blood pressure was normal, his cholesterol was in the healthy range, and he was no longer pre-diabetic. He didn't feel like he was on a diet. He felt like he was finally eating real food. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it and subscribe. Your support helps us create more content just like this. Now let's make this practical for you. Start with one change. The easiest one is to switch your cooking fat to extra virgin olive oil. Use it on salads, for sautéing vegetables, even for roasting. Second, try to have a meatless day once a week. On that day, make your protein source beans, lentils, or fish. A simple lentil soup or a piece of baked cod can be incredibly delicious. Third, add more color to your plate. At every meal, ask yourself, can I add a vegetable or a fruit? A handful of spinach in your eggs, a side of sliced tomatoes with your sandwich, an apple for a snack. Each color represents different vitamins and antioxidants. Think of it as painting a masterpiece for your health with every meal. Number 2, the proactive health philosophy. In many parts of the world, we have a reactive relationship with our health. We wait until something is broken, until we feel pain, or a symptom becomes undeniable, and only then do we go to the doctor. The philosophy in places with great longevity, like Monaco, is the complete opposite. It is a proactive health philosophy. This means they don't wait for the fire to start. They are constantly checking for smoke. They see their doctor for regular checkups, even when they feel perfectly fine. They get their blood tested, their blood pressure checked, and they do the recommended cancer screenings. This approach is one of the most powerful tools for a long life. A study from the Stanford Longevity Center found that preventative screenings and regular health monitoring could prevent or mitigate the effects of up to 80% of the chronic diseases that affect older adults. Catching something like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or early-stage cancer before it has a chance to cause major damage can literally add decades to your life. Monaco's healthcare system is one of the best in the world, and it is heavily focused on prevention. The citizens are encouraged and have easy access to these regular check-ins. This creates a culture where taking care of your health is not a chore, but a normal, responsible part of life. It's like taking your car for a regular oil change instead of waiting for the engine to seize on the highway. This mindset shifts the power back to you. You are no longer a passive victim of illness, but an active manager of your own well-being. It reduces health-related anxiety because you know where you stand. Knowledge is power, and knowing your numbers, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, is the first step to controlling your health destiny. Consider the story of Eleanor. Eleanor was 80 years old and proud of the fact that she hadn't seen a doctor in over 15 years. "If it ain't broke, don't fix it," she would say. She felt fine, so she saw no reason to go. Her daughter, however, was worried and finally convinced her to go for a complete physical exam. Eleanor grumbled but went along. The doctor ran a full panel of blood tests and did a routine exam. The results came back a week later. While most things were fine, her vitamin D levels were critically low. The doctor explained that as we age, our skin becomes less efficient at making vitamin D from sunlight, and a severe deficiency can lead to weak bones, fractures, and a depressed immune system. He also noticed a very small, irregular mole on her back that Eleanor had never seen. It turned out to be an early-stage melanoma, a dangerous form of skin cancer. Because they caught it so early, it was removed with a simple in-office procedure. The doctor prescribed a high-dose vitamin D supplement for her. The amount he recommended was 2,000 international units per day, which sounds like a lot, but to put it in perspective, you'd have to eat about 8 scrambled eggs every single day to get that much from food alone. Eleanor was shaken. She had felt perfectly healthy, yet 2 potentially life-altering problems were lurking beneath the surface. From that day on, she became a firm believer in proactive health. Her annual checkup became a non-negotiable appointment in her calendar. How can you adopt this philosophy? It's straightforward. First, schedule an annual physical with your doctor. Make it the same month every year, like your birthday month, so you never forget. Go to that appointment with a list of questions. Don't be shy. Ask about what screenings are recommended for your age and gender. Second, know your key numbers. Ask your doctor for your blood pressure, cholesterol levels, both good and bad, and your blood sugar or A1C level. Write them down. Track them from year to year. Seeing those numbers will motivate you to maintain your good habits or make changes where necessary. Third, listen to your body, but don't play doctor. If something feels off, a new pain, persistent fatigue, a change you can't explain, don't just hope it goes away. Make an appointment. Being proactive is not about being a hypochondriac. It's about being a responsible steward of the one body you have. And now, the number one secret to how the world's wealthiest live the longest. This one might surprise you, because it's not a diet, it's not an exercise, and it's not a pill. Number 1, the low-stress environment. The single most powerful, all-encompassing secret to the longevity found in Monaco is the creation of a low-stress or stress-shielded environment. We now know that chronic stress is one of the most potent aging forces on the human body. When you are constantly worried, anxious, or afraid, your body is flooded with a hormone called cortisol. In the short term, cortisol is helpful. It gives you the energy to deal with a threat. But when the stress never goes away, worrying about bills, personal safety, or family problems, your body is in a constant state of high alert. A landmark report from the Mayo Clinic called Chronic Stress the Silent Killer. It directly contributes to high blood pressure, heart attacks, a weakened immune system, and it even shrinks the parts of your brain responsible for memory. It is like constantly revving your car's engine in the red zone. Sooner or later, something is going to break. Monaco, for its residents, is arguably one of the most stress-shielded places on Earth. There is an enormous police presence and virtually no street crime, which removes a major source of daily fear. The country's wealth provides a strong social safety net and immaculate public services, reducing the environmental stresses of decay and disorder. This creates a psychological bubble of safety and predictability. When your brain isn't constantly scanning for threats, it can switch into a rest and repair mode. In this state, your body can focus on digesting food properly, repairing damaged cells, and fighting off infections. Living in a low-stress environment is the biological equivalent of giving your body a permanent vacation. This doesn't mean the residents of Monaco have no personal problems, but their external environment provides a foundation of calm and security that is incredibly rare in the modern world. Let's look at the life of Robert. Robert was a 68-year-old retired business owner. He had spent his life in a high-stress job, always worrying about payroll, competition, and the economy. Even in retirement, he couldn't turn his brain off. He worried constantly about the stock market, the political climate, and the safety of his neighborhood. He watched the news for hours, which only fueled his anxiety. He had trouble sleeping, suffered from constant indigestion, and his doctor told him his blood pressure was dangerously high. He was living in a soup of stress hormones. His wife, concerned for his health, convinced him to try an experiment. For 1 month, they would create their own Monaco bubble. They made a rule: no news on television after 6 p.m. Instead, they would listen to calming music or read. Robert started a simple 5-minute morning meditation routine he found online, just focusing on his breath. He took up his old hobby of woodworking in the garage, an activity that completely absorbed his attention and calmed his racing mind. He and his wife made their evening walk a sacred, non-negotiable ritual. At first, Robert was skeptical, but after a few weeks, he started to notice a profound change. He was sleeping through the night for the first time in years. His indigestion was gone. When he went back to the doctor at the end of the month, his blood pressure had dropped 20 points. He had not changed his diet or his exercise, he had simply lowered his stress. He had shielded himself from the constant barrage of anxiety and allowed his body to finally heal. You may not be able to move to Monaco, but you can build your own stress-shielded environment starting today. First, you must curate your information intake. Limit your exposure to a constant stream of negative news. Choose one time of day to get informed, and then turn it off. Your mental health is more important than knowing about every crisis in the world in real time. Second, find a daily practice that calms your nervous system. This could be 5 minutes of quiet breathing, prayer, listening to classical music, or spending time in nature. It doesn't have to be long, but it must be consistent. Third, identify the biggest source of stress in your daily life and take one small step to reduce it. Is it clutter? Spend 10 minutes a day decluttering one small area. Is it a difficult relationship? Decide to set a boundary. You have more control over your environment than you think. By consciously and deliberately lowering the stress in your life, you are activating the most powerful anti-aging strategy that exists. So, there you have it. The 5 secrets from the longest living people in the world. Let's quickly recap. Number 5 was the principle of effortless movement, weaving activity into the fabric of your day. Number 4 was the social vitamin protocol, making human connection a daily priority. Number 3 was the Mediterranean diet, reimagined, focusing on pleasure and quality, not restriction. Number 2 was the proactive health philosophy, being the manager of your own health, not a victim of disease. And the most important secret of all, number 1, was creating a low-stress environment, shielding your body from the aging effects of chronic worry and anxiety. Notice that none of these secrets require a fortune. They do not require superhuman willpower. They are small, conscious shifts in your daily habits and mindset that, when combined, create a powerful foundation for a long, healthy, and happy life. You can start today. My question for you is this: of the 5 secrets we discussed today, which one do you feel would be the easiest for you to start incorporating into your life right now? Let us know in the comments below. We truly want to hear from you. If you found this information valuable, please subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Thank you for watching.